Time for the magic of Christmas. Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today my house is starting to smell more like the holidays, even though I'm hearing bumps and all kinds of stuff upstairs because Maggie's chasing this giant ball. I'm telling you, it's as big as my head. Anyway, um, I pulled out the magic of Christmas and took a look at the playbook, and we are going to have some fun with one of the layouts in the playbook. It reminded me of like the windows kind of, I don't know, maybe this is a stretch, but it reminded me a little bit of like the windows in a department store that we all grew up with. A lot of us grew up with. So anyway, I just thought it would be a fun way to use that collection and share that with you. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started on today's second of our 12 layouts for the holiday season. All right, so this is my workspace for today. We're going to use the magic of Christmas on this, our second of our holiday layouts this time around. And I've chosen one of the layouts from the project playbook. So if you haven't gotten into purchasing or grabbing the Buy It All bundle so that you get the project playbook on these collections, these are super fun and they give you lots of great ideas. The difference, as I've covered in other lessons for you, the difference between a playbook and a guidebook is a guidebook will walk you through using all of your materials on a number of layouts and projects. A project playbook just gives you ideas for 2 or 3, sometimes 4 layouts. Sometimes there's a card, sometimes there's, just other ideas of things. And it's like a project recipe in that it gives you the cutting guides and it gives you photos, really nice photos of all of the different layouts that are possibilities. We're going to do this one today just because I just feel like it's really cute and it spoke to me, but we're going to use some different papers than what they recommended just because I like to shake it up and give you other options to see how different pages might look using the same layout. Okay, so we're going to do project number 2 in the project playbook for Magic of Christmas today. And I've pulled several of, I have the whole paper pack sitting here just so that you can be inspired because it's such a beautiful collection of vintage colors and sometimes vintage-like shapes and designs. This feels very vintage to me, just kind of an older design. And so does this tree design right here. So, not that you have to use this with older photos, but, I feel like this sort of speaks to what I remember in my growing up years as the predominant decorations. Like the reindeers looked like this and the Santas looked like this. Very classic. So if you prefer to think of it as classic rather than vintage, then fantastic. Okay, I have a couple of strips of my gold shimmer paper. We're probably going to use the one that is a full 12 inches because we need these. The strips we're going to cut need to be a full 12 inches. So I'm going to just use this strip to cut those that I need. I have 2 base sheets. So I'm going to use these Christmas tree papers right here as my base sheets for this layout. I just really love the rich reds that are in this particular one. The sample we're going to use actually uses the back side of this as the portion of the squares, that it makes. We're not going to be using Not at all, because I only have these 2 sheets from my one paper pack, right? So even though I have more paper I could go and open and use, I'm trying to stick with just what I have in one paper pack just to see how far I can get it to last. So I've got, I'm going to use these 2 as my base sheets. I think they'll make a really nice base for what we're going to do. Again, I have the gold shimmer, which we're going to use. I have a piece of Cranberry Cardstock out, which is one of the 6 colors that they've given us that coordinate, the coordinating cardstock up here. So I'm going to use Cranberry, mostly because Cranberry is my favorite red of Christmas. So I just really like it. Then I have 3 other pieces from the collection, and some of these we are going to use the back side of, and others we are not. But these are all going to get punched or cut and used in today's layout. So first of all, let's start with our cardstock. I'm going to grab my 12-inch trimmer, and I'm going to grab my cardstock, and we are going to cut just a couple of pieces here. So, and I'm just noticing that I did not measure one of the key pieces that we need to have 2 1/8 by 12. So I'm just going to make a note of that here. This piece is 2 1/8 by 12. All right. So I'm just going to set this one over here. We are going to start by cutting a piece that is 4 by 12 from our red cardstock. So I'm just going to use the grid marks on the left here to keep my paper nice and straight. And we're going to have one that's 4 by 12 and one that is 2 1/8. So 2 1/8 is you go to the 2 measurement and go 2 marks beyond that, and that is 2 1/8. Okay, so there's my 2 1/8. That's going to go on the right hand side of the layout, so we'll put that over there for now. Then I'm going to need a 6 by 4 mat. So let's see if we have, ooh, we almost have 6 inches, but not quite going that way. So let's see, we're going to need to go this way for our 6 1/2. We're going to go 6 1/2. 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. Okay, that's going to be one of our mats, so I'm just going to put it up there so I don't lose track of it. All right, this is just an extra piece, so we'll set that to the side. Then I need a 4 1/2, not that piece, I need that piece. This is our extra piece right here. So I need a piece that is 4 by 5 or 5 by 4. So let's go ahead and we're going to cut it at 4 inches, and then we are going to turn it and cut it at 5 inches. Okay, so another mat, that one's going to go up there. Those are all extra. Okay, so those are all the main red pieces that we need. And now we are going to, and I'm going to just tuck this under here so I remember that that is a piece we need to keep. All right, now I'm going to grab this gold strip that I have here, and we are going to cut some 1/4 inch pieces. Now, 1/4 inch pieces tend to be a little fiddly because they are fairly narrow. So to keep my paper from shifting, I'm just going to add a little bit of repositionable adhesive on the back. Okay, then I'm going to be able to keep that from getting excited and moving around on me. Okay, I'm going to line up the right hand side of this piece of gold shimmer with the right hand edge of my gray cutting mat. This gray mat that we can flip right here, that we are actually, our blade is actually coming into contact with. should be 1/4 of an inch from the cutting line to the right-hand side of that mat, okay? So there's one of our 1/4 inch pieces. I'm gonna just lift this up and scooch it over. Line it up again with the edge of that mat. We need 4 of these 1/4 inch pieces, 2 for each side of the layout. So I've got my 2 for the right-hand side. We're going to do 2 more for the left-hand side. One goes over here. One more piece. There we go. Okay. All right, so that piece is just extra and it will go over there. Now, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. I'm going to move my trimmer off to the side, grab those extra pieces that we have up here. We're going to use the square punch, the CM square punch. But if you don't have the CM square punch, you can cut these. They are a 1 3/4 inch square. All right, so we are going to use our punch just because because I feel like it's easier, and I feel like we can just go in here and choose the pattern we want to see. Just makes life so much more fun, right? So we're going to do, I think we're going to do 6 of this one. Ultimately, we need 19 squares. 19 squares is quite a few squares. So where's 5? More. One. This one I'm only going to use one side of the paper, so this one I'm going to, we're only going to use this cute multi-pictured side of the paper because I'm not fond of the other side. To be completely forthright and honest with you, I just don't like it. It's not an appealing color to me, and the pattern is not something that I enjoy using. It's a little too bland, I guess, for me. All right, so we're going to do 3 of that one. That gives us 9 of those. And now we're going to do 9 of this one. And some of these I think are going to get flipped over. In the sample we have here, you can see that there are quite a few that are they're made using this side, right? But I think we'll be able to get a lot of variation and still be able to use the other side of this as well. We are going to want to flip some of these over and use them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5. So that should work. All right. We have almost enough pieces. Now we need just a few more mats. So I'm going to come in here with this paper. We're going to use this paper for for a couple of them. So I need 2 of them that are 4.5 by 6. So let's go ahead and 4.5 by 6.5, pardon me. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this out to 6.5, which means I need my arm. So we're going to go out here to 6.5. And we're going to measure this to 4.5. Now, if you have the mat pack, you don't need to do this. You could just use your mats. But I've already allotted my mats to use in my December Days album, so I am cutting some mats. So it'll all work out eventually. Eventually. I'm going to use this green and make a couple of mats. So I need one that is 6.5 by 4. So let's go ahead and cut this at 4. Hang on. Don't have 6.5 this way, so 4 that way, 6.5 this way. One moment. Here we go. Then we can go 4.5. And use that as a green mat. And then I need a 3.25 by 4.5. Okay. Just even up this edge here real quick. Three. I don't know why I'm just having a really hard time cutting that. So let's just trim it right here for now. That's at the 4-inch mark. And then we'll come back to this. We'll see if maybe I will cut that down, but we'll see. All right. It's not that I want to redesign this or anything, but I just have had that block of paper and just feel like I shouldn't mess it up. Okay, so I'm going to grab these my two red bases for the little borders that we're going to make. I'm going to put them both right here in the middle so I can see them very easily. Okay, and we're going to just play with arranging some of these squares. So we're going to grab these first. I've got 5 of these, so I'm going to put 2 on there, 3 on there. Then I'm going to come in here with the other kind of whitish background piece, and we're going to kind of use it to balance some of that white. How many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 that will go on here. So I don't know if I'm going to want those right next to each other. We'll see. All right, now let's do our greens. All right, I think I'm gonna go with that arrangement. So now I'm gonna grab my repositionable adhesive and I'm going to grab my ruler. I'm gonna flip my ruler so that I have my grid marks consistently all the way through. So that's gonna help me a little bit, and that's going to help me hopefully line these up so that they are nice and straight. I'm going to do the first one here so that it is an equal distance all the way around. I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do this one on the other end, just centered. And then I'm going to just place my ruler kind of up against both of those. And that's going to help me be able to place the rest of these and keep them nice and straight. Since we don't have one in the exact center, we are essentially centering, or yes, I don't know what made Maggie so excited. She's having a hard time being quiet today. I'm having a hard time completing my thoughts when she's not quiet. Okay, so you can see that this is a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch between each of these. I'm going to just adjust these just slightly so that they are more even. All right, so then we're going to go ahead and do something similar over here on this side now that we've figured out our spacing. It's going to be a little different on this other side here. All right, let's see if I can do that same thing again so that I can keep my border nice and straight. I think that looks decent there, that spacing. So we'll go ahead and push those down. All right. Okay. Let's go with that. And then I'm just going to shift that over. That way I can line up my ruler on this outer side. All right, there we go. Haley is trying her best to wrangle Maggie upstairs. She just got something that made her excited, and she was having a hard time being quiet about it, whatever it was. Okay, so now we are good to grab our base sheets now that we have those squares anchored. And this should go relatively quickly. Here, from here on out. Sure it will. Okay, so I'm going to just line up my base sheet on my cutting mat. And then I'm going to look up here. I'm going to add my adhesive to the back of this real quick. Okay, then we're going to place this at the 1/2 inch mark. So this lower corner down here is going to go a 1/2 inch in from the edge. Okay, so a 1/2 inch in, and then we're going to come in here with our 2 gold 1/4 inch strips. I'm going to line these up together. Let me make sure you can see what I'm doing on here. Let's scooch this up an inch. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to line these up together. I'm going to do that so that I don't lose adhesive. Okay, so I'm going to just put them edge to edge as much as possible. That way I can go right down the middle and add my adhesive, and I'm not losing any adhesive off of the edge. Does that make sense? I need to come back up here and do this end. All right. Now we're going to take one of those 1/4 inch pieces, and it's going to go right up the edge, the outer edge of this on the outside of the cardstock. So you're adhering it right down on top of your base sheet, but right snug up against that cranberry cardstock. So you don't want to see any of that base sheet underneath it. I have a little bit of repositionable adhesive on that side of my line. You know what? I'm thinking I might need just a smidge more adhesive on this piece. I didn't line mine up as well as I thought I did, so I didn't get as much on there as I had hoped. Okay, then this one's going to go up this outside edge, or the inside edge, sorry. Same thing, right up against the edge of my red cardstock. So you're framing it essentially. Okay, so just like that. Then we're going to come in with our other base sheet. I'm going to add this one down the other side. And this one is going to go just a 1/4 inch from the edge. So actually, I'm going to place my my gold strip down first so that I can make sure it's right on the edge. There we go. These have a tendency to stick together when you do it that way, just so you're aware. Okay, this is going to go right up the very edge of the right hand base sheet. I don't know about you, but sometimes I have a hard time seeing that edge. So there we go. And then this one will go right next to it. And our second portion of our 1/4-inch frame. Right up that inside edge. All right. Now we just need some mats and our embellishments. So let me gather my mats so that I have up here. And we may need to cut a couple more, so we're just going to kind of wing this as well. So I'm going to spread this out so we can see both sides of our layout. Put that up there so that we can see. Don't need that anymore, so we'll stick that up there. All right. So we've got our 4x6. It's going to go there, and the smaller one that'll go up there. And this one for sure is going to be, well, I like to say for sure because I haven't done this layout before. So let's use our repositionable adhesive just to be on the safe side. All right, and this is going to go, I'm going to go 1/2 inch up and 1/2 inch over from the corner. Okay, then we've got, this is my smaller one, so we're going to leave that there. I've got a green one and I've got red. We could go with red and white. We could go with green and white. And this goes right up against so go like this. This one will go down here, this one will go up here, and this one will tuck in and go like so. Maybe just for fun, we'll flip that over and make it red. I think I'm going to be okay with that. The original layout actually has room for 7 photos if you wanted, but I think I'm just going to go with 6 because I don't have that extra little half mat to go over here. And this one I enlarged just a little bit to make it just a little bit bigger. So I think it'll be okay. It will do what I want it to do. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to my layout so that it is good to go. All right. going to realign these on this side so that they correspond with this side. So we're going to line our papers up. Here we go. And then I can line up this with that one. And then we'll line this one up. And this one down here is going to need to be moved. So it's a good thing that I did that with repositionable adhesive, because we need to adjust this one just a little and move it right up against those others. Okay, now we're going to kind of take a look at some embellishments. You'll notice on our sample here, they've got a lot of embellishments on this page. So we're going to take a look at the Magic of Christmas embellishments, which are super cute. I think we'll use this one in that square as our kind of, or believe. I'll just lay them up here and we'll decide where they are going to need to go. Aren't they super cute? We may not use them all, but we will use quite a few of them in this layout. This angel reminds me of my growing up years, especially. Look at that cute little bell. I could have used that on my elf toes the other day. Those would have been very cute. We've got reindeer. Lights. Jingle all the way. Wreath. There's another tree. Another Santa. And some houses. Okay, so we've got that. We've got... Where did my stickers go? Hold on. Grab those too. Okay. So I've got Dear Santa. Another tree, some stockings, just lots of fun. Lots of fun. Okay, so let's decide what we want to put on here. They've got an embellishment kind of on every other one. Mostly on the ones that are tone on tone is where they've got embellishments. So with that in mind, let's go in here and decide what we want. I think I want a Santa. I want at least one little Santa. So we'll put him right there on that guy. And then let's do We could do a bow on there. We could do candy on the bottom. We could do a bow on there. Why don't we do the bow? The bow there. We could do maybe we'll do the reindeer on this side. We should do a snowman also. We could do this one, or we could do a sticker snowman. We could put him up there, kind of between two. We could do our bells. If we do the bells there, then I think probably something besides the bow should go. We'll do the bow over here on this one. What about we've got a cute little package, but I don't see a package in here. Huh. Interesting. Do you see that? Do you see this cute little package right here? That looks like it should have been a sticker, or it looks like a sticker because it has that white border kind of around it. But I don't see that in here. Must have come from somewhere else. Odd. I don't want two Santas together. What if we move Santa down here and put the bells here and Santa up there? Up there. And do a stocking here. I have to take it off really carefully because it's stuck down really good. So just go slow. There we go. Okay. Just wanted to kind of put that at more of an angle. Like that. like that. With a little bit of poly. This is shaping up really nice. I'm liking this. Let's see. I think we have quite a bit of their colors. Need some blue. Let me move this off so I can see better. I hate that I can't make decisions where these things are concerned. But I have such a hard time sometimes making decisions. I think I'm going to leave that off for now. Okay. What if we came in with a tree behind the magic of Christmas to add just a little bit of green to this up here? And we could even add just a little bit more green with these little bow stickers. And what if we added since we've used the bow, we could add just a little bit of poly to the middle of those bow stickers. Just kind of like that. Like so. Okay, we need some adhesive on the back of this guy. And some adhesive on the back of this guy. We'll go like is that level? I can't see. I think that's level. Yeah. Do like that. Then I can cut some years on my Cricut and put the year right there. That'll work. So without adding any, we could certainly add foam squares to these, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to go ahead and adhere these down just like they are. That one right where it is, that one right where it is. I'm gonna go with this one right where it is too, even though it's on top of that mat. I think it'll be just fine. This one. And this one. Okay, I think I got everything nailed down, so to speak. And I think that we are good to go. I'll clean up all those embellishments in a bit, but I would love to know what you think about this layout. I think it turned out cute. Here's their sample again, so you can see it. And here's our layout today. Basically, as long as you stick with the same collection, all the papers are designed to go together, so it's hard to go wrong when you change things up because all of the papers still match. So I think you can feel safe about experimenting with the different papers in this collection, especially for a layout like this, because it's got a lot going for it, but it's has so much variety that you can change it up however you like, and it looks lovely. So I hope this is one that will help you and inspire you to get going on your Christmas layouts this year. And this is number 2 out of our 12 layouts for Christmas. You'll be getting 2 a week until Christmas, and which is not as many as my typical week includes, but hopefully it'll give you a little extra time to enjoy the season and to work on your layouts. Thanks so much for joining me this time around, and until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Enjoy your day.